Pop Culture Pastor.
Oh, here we are in the afternoon, just after noon here on KFEX, Firescape Radio 93.1. Cody's here.
Siesta time.
Oh man, I really wish we had that. People know this about me, so I have an affinity for the same thing that our neighbors in the South do. That kind of after lunch small nap that they call the siesta, which is like, I think, more culturally a thing.
It is for sure in Spain as well.
Is it really?
Yes.
Explain.
Oh, like they get like a whole hour.
You see, and I think that's the play.
Yeah.
I think that's the mood.
LeBron James on the Calm app revealed that he literally plans a lot of the activities around his day or in his day around a nap time.
Yeah. I like a good big lunch because usually I don't have breakfast. But if I have a good big lunch, I get that post-lunch tiredness. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's just nice. So we can just work that in here. This is the lunch hour, but we could call it the siesta hour.
We could.
You could just, sit back, leave KFEX on, and shut your eyes, but keep listening. And we'll go over the news of the world, and that's, perfect to sleep through.
If you accidentally fall asleep, maybe you'll retain through osmosis. Yes. I don't know.
Oh, the news. This is Pop Culture Pastor, the radio show.
We're back.
We never left, baby.
Exactly.
That felt like a rap song. We started from the bottom. Now we're here. So, Kane, there's we usually talk about McDonald's in a way that we kind of poke fun at them. But there's actually a lot that McDonald's does very well. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, you sell 50 billion hamburgers a day. You're probably doing something right.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think is actually really smart that they do is they do these like celebrity meals. Have you heard of this?
No.
Recently, you could eat like Cardi B's favorite meal at McDonald's, which, right. Cardi B isn't eating at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, it's all silly. Yeah. But people thinking they're like, maybe if you like Cardi B, you're like, hey, I'm going to eat what Cardi B eats when she goes to McDonald's. And that's going to make me feel closer to them. And it's just a brilliant piece of marketing by McDonald's. And I was kind of reading about it and that this is nothing new. Like, they've been doing this for a long time because back in 1992, McDonald's had something called the McJordan Special,
right?
Which was Michael Jordan's go-to order, and it was released in 1992, and it started mostly in Chicago.
Yep,
of course, because he was a member of the Chicago Bulls. But it was a quarter pounder with bacon, and it was a circular. I remember it was a circular cut of bacon, so it fit the burger perfectly,
right?
Which was interesting. I don't even know how you do that, but McDonald's is famous for having things that taste and look like no other way you can get it.
Yep.
I don't know what that is that they call mayonnaise because I've never tasted any mayonnaise like it, and it's unbelievably awesome.
Yeah.
Like if heaven has mayonnaise, I imagine it tastes like McDonald's mayonnaise. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy good. But yeah, so they have circular bacon, mustard, pickles, onions, and a new kind of barbecue sauce that they had created exclusively for the burger. And that was like the first time I remember McDonald's having like, the celebrity meal. This is what Michael Jordan eats when he goes to McDonald's. Michael Jordan never went to McDonald's. Can we just say that? But I find this sort of marketing to be kind of genius. Mm-hmm. And they were way ahead of their time. They did that in 1992, far before like influencer culture.
Yeah.
Which now we live in. And so they've done this several times. So recently they had the Travis Scott meal, which he's a secular music artist. And the Travis Scott meal was a Sprite, fries with barbecue sauce to dip your fries in, and a quarter pounder with cheese, shredded lettuce, and bacon.
Okay.
And it was $6. Mm-hmm. And you get to eat what Travis Scott eats.
Yeah.
I believe Travis Scott probably eats McDonald's sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like the rappers are more down to earth. So I think, he probably eats McDonald's.
Yeah. Buy the Travis Scott meal and donate 25 cents directly to Travis Scott.
Yeah, well, right. It'd be interesting to see how much they pay these celebrities to pretend like they eat a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Although we probably all eat a McDonald's. McDonald's is in this weird place in the zeitgeist because we all like to make fun of McDonald's, and yet they sell 50 billion burgers a day. We're all going there.
Yeah.
But it's like I've literally had the thing where I'm going to go to McDonald's for my kids, of course.
Of course.
Not for me.
Of course.
But even going in the drive-thru, I'm before I pull into the parking lot, I'm like looking around to make sure no one I know sees me pulling into the McDonald's. And if I pull into the lot and I see someone there in line that does know me, I like just pull through the lot and like, I was just pulling through. I'm not going to McDonald's like you. What is that? Why do we do that? It's so weird.
It is.
So the celebrity meal at McDonald's has become a prevalent thing. Now they do things with, these musicians and stuff I've never even heard of. The J Balvin meal. You ever heard of J Balvin?
I have not.
He's apparently a reggae performer.
Okay.
His meal was a Big Mac, medium fries with ketchup, and an Oreo McFlurry. Which, the McFlurry part was like, yes, but you can't get it after like 8 because the ice cream machine's definitely broken.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, that meal's not going to work. They had the BTS meal, which is like the K-pop, Korean pop, which I'm a little lost when it comes to that. I don't really understand that whole thing and why it's popular here, but the kids dig it. And I'm just like, okay. It's just like, I really liked what you used to dig, Grandma, but like the New Kids on the Block, but I like my flavor a little more, Eastern.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Eastern boy bands, wonderful. But I don't really get it. But if you wanted the BTS meal, it came with a 10-piece chicken McNugget, medium fries, medium Coke, and 2 special dipping sauces they made. Sweet chili, which that sounds a little Eastern, but then Cajun. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. That's Louisiana. What? That doesn't make any sense. And so there's just been tons of these meals. The Mariah Carey menu was a thing at McDonald's. The singer claims to love ordering. Mariah Carey claims to love the Big Mac, the McChicken, the McDouble, and the McDonald's cinnamon roll.
Okay.
Those were all things on the Mariah Carey menu, which I'm sure she eats.
She has a
tons.
She has a whole menu, not just a meal, but a whole menu.
And so they've done this. They've done this a lot, and it seems like it's kind of genius. And what I'm wondering, Kane, is what would be the Kane Colton meal at McDonald's? So your face, you got the mohawk going on, you're smiling, and you got the tray in front of you, and people are seeing your in all your glory. The Kane Colton, they pull up to the Kane Colton, and the McDonald's, and they say, I want the Kane Colton meal. What did they just order?
Oh, it'd probably be a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, fries with mayo and ketchup mixed.
Oh. See, this is a celebrity meal because you've got the intricacies.
Yeah.
And mayo and ketchup. Now,
and then a supersized hot fudge sundae.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Americans don't get the mayo part with the fries, but in a lot of other parts of the world, they dip fries in mayo.
Yeah. I think it's my Dutch heritage kind of coming through.
Oh, I'm Dutch. Isn't that weird?
It's so weird.
No, man, that's a good meal. You're a 2 sandwich guy.
I try to not usually because, that's like about a week's worth of calories in one meal, but that's pretty standard in American culture.
Yeah. I eat McDonald's so rarely that if I am going to eat McDonald's, I'm going to eat enough where 3 hours later I regret it. So if someone pulled up to the McDonald's and they said, I want the Dave Rimbolt meal, and my smiling face was on their menu board with the tray in front of me, this is what it would have on it. It would be a double Big Mac.
Okay.
So twice of everything.
Yep.
Double patties, mostly double cheese. At some point in my lifetime, there used to be 2 slices of cheese on the Big Mac on each layer.
Right.
But they have sometime in the last few years changed that to just 1 slice, and it totally wrecked the proportions of the Big Mac.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, you got to have 2 slices of cheese. One on the upper layer, one on the bottom layer. Side note, I have a friend that eats the Big Mac a layer at a time.
Okay.
Like he'll eat the top bread, then he'll eat the patty on the top, and then he'll eat the middle bread. Yeah.
That's weird.
He's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. He might have OCD or something. We're looking into it. But yeah, so my meal would be the double Big Mac, a large fry, and a 6-piece chicken McNugget.
Okay.
Okay, so with barbecue sauce for the fries and the nuggets.
Right.
And if you get the Dave Rimbolt meal, you have to eat it in a certain order.
Right.
You always eat all the French fries first, dipping into the barbecue sauce.
Yep.
And the barbecue sauce is you dip on like you get a long fry, you dip, you take one bite with the barbecue sauce, and then the next bite without. Ah. So I have a system.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the Dave Rimbolt meal. A double Big Mac, fries, the small chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm also a fan. I'm a fan of any value menu. And I know they're not as value as they used to be, but back when McDonald's had the $1 menu and you could get like a double cheeseburger for $1 and McChickens for $1, like those were staples.
Yeah.
So before I was a Christian, I'm going to say before I was a Christian because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I used to go to like the movies and wear cargo shorts and sneak in like McDoubles and McChickens in my cargo pant pockets. And because like if you buy stuff at the movie theater, like, man, point me to the loan office.
Yeah.
I don't have the money for that. I was struggling. Blood money, man. So I'd go to a matinee and I'd sneak in McDonald's value meal or value menu things in my pockets.
And no one would know that you had it when you're in the theater, right? Because no one could smell it. It's not.
And McDonald's has this particular smell.
It
too.
does.
Because every once my kids love the nuggets. And so the only regular trips to McDonald's I make are mostly for them. But like once you bring that home and it's been in your car smells like McDonald's for like a month.
Yeah.
And you can't get it out. Windows down, doesn't matter. It just sticks. It's so weird. Kind of like the way it does to your inside your stomach. Oi. Okay, Cody. Are you familiar with Marie Kondo and the Marie Kondo method? This was a big deal a few years back on Netflix, I think.
Oh,
she had a show.
Yeah,
and she espoused something called the KonMari method. It was all about being tidy. Keeping your place picked up, tidied, organized.
That's silly.
She encourages tidying by category, not by location. You start with clothes and you move on to books and papers and miscellaneous and finally sentimental items. And then you would only keep to the things that kind of spoke to you, your heart. You discard all items that no longer, quote, spark joy. That was her big thing. If it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it.
That's silly.
Cody is a hoarder.
No,
I think that's what we've determined.
You know what? This bill doesn't spark joy to me.
Come on. She's not telling you to throw away your bill. Don't be silly. You know what she means.
There's things that I use and need that don't spark joy.
Well, okay. Like she basically taught, her whole thing was to give you a system of keeping things tidy, which I could use because I'm notoriously messy and unorganized. They say genius is like that.
Yes. You can go overboard with being too organized, too tidy. If you start, now my bookshelf is going to be broken up into nonfiction, romantic, sci-fi, and graphic novels, and it's going to be in alphabetical order and organized by year of release. That's too much. You're not the public library.
Okay, I feel like you're being a little defensive. Who hurt you?
No, like
you're like on the defensive here. What's happening right now?
I'm not a fan of perfectionists.
he got all quiet.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
a fan
he's
of
trying to be centered.
not a fan of perfectionists, which
I don't think Marie Kondo was telling you to be a perfectionist. She's just helping you. She's just trying to help people tidy up, man.
well, then just clean your house. Like, you don't need someone to have a whole Netflix show to tell you to clean your house.
I don't think I've ever did. I think I'm the therapist here, and I think what I hear you saying, Cody, is that someone in your life who is a perfectionist has hurt you.
No, but it does lead me to think about past congregation members and past clients.
This is church hurt too. Boy, we're getting more bang for our buck than I thought here.
So yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, there's some. You can go too far in both directions. That's what I was trying to get at. That there's a medium ground. That your books need to go on the bookcase. Put them on the bookcase.
Well, you're probably going to be really happy with this news then.
Oh, thank goodness.
And I'll tell you, Marie Kondo has had some big things happen in her life recently, and we're going to talk about those things when we come back.
Winning the lottery.
Well, she already did that. She had a Netflix show, man. I don't think she's hurting for money. Okay, so we're talking about Marie Kondo. Now, Marie Kondo has had, since her thing, her system of being tidy,
Yes.
blew up, and she rocketed to worldwide fame for her, system of keeping only things that spark joy.
That's still weird to me.
See, I don't. When nachos spark joy, you have your own system of tidying them up. You just eat them and then they're gone.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I have other people who have a problem with what sparks my joy. They're called dietitians. But yeah, anyways, Marie Kondo has had some life changes since her best-selling book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing. That's a long title.
She needed to work on finding what brings her joy in that title and get rid of the rest.
She's recently shared that she had a reality check.
Oh.
Tidying up means with dealing with all the things in your life, she said. Mm-hmm. So what do you really want to put in order? And she's found that now it's a lot harder for her to do that because she has 3 kids. Marie Kondo's got 3 kids. And guess what? Guess what happened, Cody? You're never going to guess.
What happened?
I have 4 kids, so I guessed immediately. All that tidying up she was doing? She ain't doing it anymore.
Marie, what are you doing?
She's the same as everyone else with multiple kids. She gets to the end of the day when she should be tidying up, and she's like, those nachos look better. I'm going to make some nachos and sit in front of the TV. That's what Marie Kondo's doing.
Marie.
Let's go watch The Last of Us.
How the mighty have fallen.
I gotta say, it's bringing me immense satisfaction that the tidying up lady, the clean and organized lady who is all about sparking joy, has 3 kids now, and she's like, you know about all that? Never mind. It's so relatable, Cody.
Like, I wish that this is what would happen with the rest of the self-help, business leadership book people. All those people, I want them to have the reality check of you know what? This probably worked for me. It probably won't work for you. And even now, I'm not completely doing it the way I used to do it.
Marie Kondo found out that when your children's toys are all over the floor, they definitely don't spark joy. But you can't just throw them out because they don't spark joy for you. They spark joy for your children, but only at about for the first few days they have them. But they don't want you to throw them away. No. They want you to step on them at night when you're barefoot and injure yourself, hop around on one foot. Definitely doesn't spark joy, but Marie has arrived into this place where it's totally relatable to me, and it makes me happy.
Throw away all the Legos, kids.
Nope, you can't do it. Because that would not spark joy in Marie's children.
Marie needs to talk to a guy that I heard speak at Young Christians Weekend once.
That is an inside joke that you would not understand and that I am not going to unpack.
Yes.
Because it would take too long. But just know that it involves a young dad giving a sermon about him throwing his child's toy into a lake.
Goodbye, Spider-Man.
And then when the toy started crying, him telling his other child he's just like his mother, cries at everything. This was real. That really happened in a sermon. And we're all sitting there aghast and shocked. Like, why would he say this?
He should write a book.
There's gonna be so many mental therapy bills for that child. So Marie Kondo, who is sort of like a millennial, it's weird that you don't have much of a connection to her because this was kind of a millennial thing.
I remember like it being a thing, but I had no one that was like, "Oh, did you watch this?" Like I had no one in my life saying that. So
basically what's happened is Marie Kondo, who is the queen of keeping things tidy and organized and doing all these things, has now had 3 children, and she kind of gave up on that. And that's super relatable and hilarious at the same time. But know that some millennials have stuck up for her because like social media went nuts with this. They were loving it.
Oh, no.
This tweet says, instead of making fun of Marie Kondo for having a less than tidy home now with 3 kids, you could see her vulnerability as another affirmation that life be lifing sometimes and we don't stay the same in thoughts of rhythm. I don't think anybody was making fun of her. It's relatable.
It is relatable. Although I imagine there were some people that were making fun of her because she literally made buku bucks off of the fact that I can be clean, tidy, and organized, and you jabronis need to follow my method.
Well, and I think, you brought this up way back in the first segment. I think there's an element to this where, if you make money off it.
Oh, yeah.
And when you make money off something like this, like a system of keeping your house tidy, as Marie Kondo did, there's sort of an era of this is how everyone should be.
Mm-hmm.
And when, especially women, I feel are vulnerable to this from other women. When these sorts of things out there in the world, they do this and then they can't be successful in doing the same thing Marie Kondo did. They feel bad about themselves and about their efforts as a mom. And it's just like, I think this is good because now Marie Kondo has 3 kids and has basically said, I can't do this anymore. And it's like, see.
Yeah, I mean, life is full of circumstances that I wouldn't see a lot of things happening that happened in my life. I wouldn't have seen it happening 10 years ago. And so the people that are rushing to her defense saying like, oh, it's completely relatable. Life be happening sometimes. Yeah, life happens all the time. There were probably helpful tips within her show that most people could be like, I could try this and it might have a positive outcome in my life. But for it to be a fix-all, probably should not have been labeled that. Or uplifted to it.
Yeah. So anything we give as advice, we have to classify advice in the proper form. Advice is just advice. And advice means it's not a program for you to follow to true human fulfillment and happiness. No, it means when I give advice or when Marie Kondo gives advice or Cody gives advice or Guy Fieri tells you how to cook something. It's not universal.
Oh, yeah.
If it works for you and it helps you out, great. If not, then you're not a failure. I can't cook like Guy Fieri.
So my mom has this amazing chicken casserole recipe.
Oh, yeah?
And
I'm interested.
One of my friends that I would invite over all the time growing up, he asked me to get the recipe for her or from her. And so I did. But my mom said a lot of this is not. I don't go off the exact measurements, and it's kind of a look thing.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, I just kind of know. So he tried cooking it, tasted like garbage, and won't eat it or won't even try to fix it.
Okay, what's in this? I need to know about this chicken casserole.
You would have to contact Leanne for it.
Well, no. I mean, like, just generally speaking, what's in it? Like, what kind of casserole is it? Like, it's chicken and what?
Chicken. There's a lot of cheese.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, cheese.
You had me
is
at
good.
chicken and cheese.
There might even be cream of mushroom
Oh, right. Yeah.
in it.
That's a standard casserole ingredient.
And honestly, I don't know what else.
Is there pasta?
No,
No pasta.
no.
Oh,
There's-
are there crunched up chips or anything on the top?
There's like a breading that's on it, but like I don't know what is actually in the chicken casserole recipe.
This is very interesting to me, and now I need Mama Leanne to whip up a batch of it because I need to taste this famous casserole.
Indeed. And so again, life advice: be careful. What works for some doesn't work for all.
All right. You would think, Cody, that we would learn things as humanity. Like, it's almost as if we just don't pay attention to pop culture.
What?
But here we are on the Pop Culture Pastor Radio Show, self-professed geeks.
We are.
We kind of dig pop culture, and you can learn things from pop culture. You can learn things from stories, as it turns out, since, I mean, and I think Christians would know that, having, worship a savior who came here to earth and told a bunch of stories to people to teach them things.
Some people clearly did not watch NBC in the 90s. The more you know.
The more you know. We need our own little more you know chime.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, we come across stories and I'm like, yeah, well, if they would have watched this movie, they'd know that this is a terrible idea. All right. So you ready for this? Supervisors in San Francisco voted last Tuesday to give city police the ability to use potentially lethal remote-controlled robots in emergency situations.
No.
I mean, have we not seen RoboCop?
I mean, RoboCop, Terminator franchise. Stay away from robots.
The one that Tom Selleck was in the 80s that I can't remember the name of. AI.
Yeah.
Was that the one with Steven Spielberg did where they were declaring people guilty before it happened? No. That was a Minority Report.
That was.
Yeah, there's another. They're just everywhere. This is an extremely bad idea. Vote was 8-3 with the majority agreeing to grant police the option despite strong objections from people who've seen Terminator.
Thank you.
No, strong objections from civil liberties and other police oversight groups. So the worry is of course, that the police will use these killing robots
Hey, I'm really surprised
to kill us all.
that San Francisco,
Yeah.
the bastion of more leftist thought, is like, you know what? We support you, men and women in blue. That doesn't sound like the San Francisco I imagine. But yet, the Planet of the Apes modern franchise starts off in San Francisco. So they make several bad decisions. And here's another one.
Oh, man. San Francisco, you've done it again. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm on the side with the woke people.
Yep.
Because this seems like a bad mistake. The robot cops. Or the RoboCops, if you will. Cody, what was the name of the renegade robots? So RoboCop in the RoboCop movies was actually good. Because he had no emotion. They like established that. So he's like, freeze, you are under arrest. You have broken law, blah, 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 whatever. He didn't get up or down. Like that was what made him better than human cops. But then there were like the other giant robots that the bad company made that were out of control and just shooting all over the place. So it's a matter of what kind of robots is the San Francisco police department going to get. the SFPD, for what it's worth, said it does not have pre-armed robots. Pre-armed? They're going to give them the guns later.
Nice.
It has no plan to arm robots with guns. They don't have plans to. But that the department could deploy robots equipped with explosive charges to contact, incapacitate, or disorient violent, armed, or dangerous suspects when lives are at stake. I mean, couldn't we already do that?
Again, explosive? No.
I mean, it sounds like they're just going to be remote controlled, but I don't know. She went on to say robots equipped in this manner would only be used in extreme circumstances to save or prevent further loss of innocent lives. I need some more definition on that.
I don't know about this.
I mean, here's a chaotic situation. Let's roll a robot in there with a bomb on it. That sounds like a human thing. I mean, it sounds like something we do.
Well, now it's legal.
I mean, we just need to call Peter Weller.
Yeah.
Someone get Peter Weller on the phone, and we'll put the robotic stuff on him, and we'll pretend he's a robot like we did in RoboCop.
Make it happen, Captain.
That movie was sad. That movie was sad because like his wife and his kids see him after they because he was a real guy.
Yeah.
And then they turned him into a robot after he got shot up by bad guys.
It's what happens when you're fighting and serving in the line of duty.
Yeah. That movie was kind of weird. Looking back, I don't know if RoboCop's it. But we dug it in the 80s.
My wife made me watch RoboCop and all the Terminators for like the 1,000th time.
She's into that storyline, huh?
And I'm like, I don't get this.
Robot Armageddon. Well, that was a big sci-fi category. Robot Armageddon. I'm trying to think of the movie with Tom Selleck. Like there was one back in the 80s that came, it was right around the time of the Terminator, where he's like, it's like they're police, but these robots that help the police kind of go AWOL. And maybe it started with an R.
Runaway.
Yeah, that was it. And it was sort of the same kind of, I only remember that because it was on HBO a lot. But it's the same sort of thing. We seemed kind of obsessed with it. And now we have there's this debate over AI, artificial intelligence. And so for after the 80s, it kind of went away a while. Like we didn't like Terminator movies as much.
Yeah.
They were junk and nobody cared. But now we're getting back into this discussion again. And when it happens, I'm going to be like, look, we were right in the 80s, just like I've always said.
It's interesting how obsessed we are with the collapse of us and how we make it. Because we have the Terminator franchise, then you have the Planet of the Apes franchise, and heck, where Jurassic World leaves off,
Yeah.
dinosaurs are wiping us out.
We love a good post-apocalyptic movie.
We do.
We love that kind of entertainment. And that's really, well, there's probably there's probably a sermon in there somewhere.
Yeah.
That we're sort of locked into this idea that, yeah, left to our own devices, we're definitely destroying everything.
And quit worrying, people.
The weird thing about the whole AI debate is that you have really smart people who are on polar opposite sides. So you had guys like Stephen Hawking, maybe, I don't know if Neil deGrasse Tyson's really super intelligent
In that realm.
Yeah. But you have guys that say
Michio Kaku.
that absolutely there's a great chance that we will wipe ourselves out with AI, with artificial intelligence. Stephen Hawking was big on it. He wrote a whole paper on it, that was the most probable way we'd wipe ourselves out. Stephen, of course, did not believe in God and therefore did not believe that Jesus would come back way before we had the opportunity to decimate ourselves. But then there's other people who work with AI and are developing AI, people like Elon Musk and others who say, well, I mean, it's not really the chances of us creating an AI it's sentient that won't really happen. That might just be in our sci-fi science fiction realm.
Elon's already messing with things that I'm like, don't do it. Don't you do it.
Are you talking about Twitter?
Well, no. But like the implant chips,
Oh yeah.
don't do it.
Don't put that chip in you, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Technology, it does seem like, I'm going to go real simple with technology. It does seem like just the invention of the smartphone, which if you look back, Star Trek way back has people looking at little tablets that today we'd be like, hey, it kind of looks like they were imagining smartphones back then.
Yeah.
And so we always thought in the future that we would have these little devices that gave us information. And to be fair, they've revolutionized the way we communicate, changed everything, but not all of it for the better. And in my way of thinking, there's done a world of negative things have come with it. But we can't turn back the clock. It's like Pandora's box, right? You can't get it back in the box. It's like we're almost going to have to be able to have the technology taken from us in some way, like an EMP.
Yeah. The guy that's the head of 538.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Nate.
Yeah, Nate Silver.
Yeah, he shared something which goes along with this. It was the context of it was the human connectivity post COVID is really struggling.
Oh yeah.
After all the lockdown measures, and he said that wasn't considered an essential thing to be concerned about. The government didn't deem it essential, even though we were trending in this direction before COVID because of all the technology and smartphones and stuff that consume us.
Yeah. So it's kind of the perfect storm of oof, because the technology was already making us less face-to-face communicative. And then the pandemic happens, which like slammed the door on it. Right.
Kick rocks communication.
And now we live in a world that maybe not so much around where we live, because we kind of just went back to normal. We went back to the way we were, but more urban areas, more progressive areas some places still have mask mandates. Like you're looking, the protests in China are protests because they still had a zero tolerance COVID lockdown of, rules in place. And they were still locking it down every time like they got a case. And this is going to be a lot like the flu. We're going to have seasons of this where this comes back. And largely the difference now is how we react to it. We're already living in a world in lots of places where it's harder for face-to-face contact.
It is.
And so that's my concern with technology. Not that robots will rise up and end us all like Terminator.
But I am prepared.
Jesus can come back in any form he wants. And maybe John was trying to describe that he was coming back as RoboCop.
He is coming back like Rambo. I've already read the book of Revelation.
Yeah. He does seem a little bit more aggressive.
Jeezbo.
Stop. Hey everybody, Dave here. What you have just listened to are bits and pieces of our radio show. We have a radio show on KFEX Firescape Radio located in Chanute, Kansas. You can hear that show from noon to 4 every weekday. So if you want to tune into that, you can go to www.kfex931.com, or you can search KFEX in your app store on your smartphone and find their totally free app there. If you're a fan of Christian music, you might like to listen to our live show when you're at work, or if you're a stay-at-home mom and you like music in the house, you may love to listen to that during the day. So give it a try. We would also direct you to our podcast, Pop Culture Pastor. That's probably why you're listening anyways to this version of what we do. As always, subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on our social medias on Facebook and Twitter. It helps us out when you share it, when you review and rate us on our podcast homes. And of course, follow us on social media and share our stuff there. So thank you so much for listening. We love all of you guys so much. We have such a great community of listeners. And we'll see you when the regular pod drops on Friday.